Hi guys, and welcome back to the In My Feelings Emotional Intelligence course. Now we are on our last lesson, which is lesson 5, and here we will be talking about coping tools that you use on a daily basis to deal with stress, anxiety, depression, and all the adversity that you encounter in your life. Now the outcome of this lesson is for you to just understand what current tools are you using. Are they effective? And if not, why? And would you like alternative tools that you can use that fit into your schedule and bring you harmony and are fun to do? And then we speak about, and thirdly, we also speak about toxic coping tools that we find comfort in for the moment, but they have like really negative impacts in the long run. Okay, so let's dive in. So why do we need coping tools to deal with life? It's simple. Sometimes life is hard, and because we're emotional creatures, we get overwhelmed very quickly. And once we're in that emotional state, our reasoning, our logic just goes out the window, and we just in that survival mode, and our cortisol is activated, and suddenly we're in flight or fight mode. So we definitely need a tool that we can use to just bring back harmony into our bodies, slow down the symptoms that are happening on our body level, and also just to calm down our nervous system and activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about rest and digestion, and to just calm our brains, because our brains are racing in that moment. And the more we get really highly emotionally charged, the harder it is to just really come down from that high. And sometimes when you come down from that high, you are just so drained and so exhausted, and it can take a couple of days. And some people actually get stuck and they all addicted to that emotion, like we spoke about in lesson 4, where we spoke about emotional addiction. So guys, in the workbook, we have put in a few suggestions and a few tips on some coping tools that you can possibly use. So once again, we're doing a 30-day challenge where you get to choose one of those coping tools, and then you implement them in your life, into your schedule, and see how it works for you. Because it's very important to have coping tools and start using them before a crisis happens. Most of us want to wait till a crisis happens. But when we're in a crisis, it's very hard to learn a new tool. We're just not in the receptive mode. So we have to practice it while we're still good, so that when the crisis happens, we just do it from memory. Literally, we're on autopilot, and then the tool does what it's meant to do, which is calm us and restore us to balance. Now, before we end this lesson, I would still like to touch on toxic coping tools. Now, I know one toxic coping tool that most of us really struggle with, and it's our go-to for most of us, and that is alcohol. Now, alcohol really, when you've had a really stressful day and you just want to relax and chill, it's like your go-to, because the effects are almost immediate, because it just numbs and dulls your brain, and you're no longer thinking about stuff. You can't even think about anything, because we've already spoken about how when you don't sleep, you feel like in a drunk state. Your reaction time is slow, your concentration, memory, everything's affected. So that's pretty much what alcohol does. It affects your body functions and your brain functions, which is not good in the long term, because you can actually end up having dementia in the long term. And obviously your academic performance will decline as well, because the long-term effects of alcohol do hit hard on your brain. So now I know most of us, that's the easiest tool, and to implement a tool that will take time to learn and also to implement, it just seems like a lot of hard work. But I promise you, the tools that we have included in the workbook, they do work, especially meditation. It increases your brain size. It really reduces your anxiety, your depression. So it's got such great benefits, but it takes practice to get it right. But once you're there, it is absolutely just amazing to do first thing in the morning or before you go to bed, so that you can have a good night's sleep. And if you're more of a creative person like me, you love music, you just pop in your music and you just find that happy feeling. So you can release those good hormones, your dopamine and all that stuff. So you can do all of that. So there are a lot of really healthy ways of getting that same kind of feeling that you're looking for after a stressful day, or after a conflict. But these tools are just far more healthier, and in the long run, they have actually great benefits, and they never impact you in a negative way. And that's what we're trying to achieve with coping tools. We want them to help us in a crisis, but we want to have long-term benefits. You know, like for instance, it increases your, like meditation I spoke to you about, is that if you do it all the way into your old age, you know, your brain function doesn't decline. It's actually just functions very well, and your brain is that of a person half your age. It's been proven scientifically, and that is why a lot of people are jumping on this meditation wagon, because it works and people are really reaping the rewards. So guys, go to your workbook, see some of those coping tools, do a 30-day challenge where you try one of them at least, and see which one would you like to continue to do past the 30 days. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed these 2 courses that I have just done for you, and I hope you found some valuable information in the workbook. And if there's something that you're really interested in and want to talk about, yeah, you can call me. Thank you so much for this lesson, and I appreciate you. Have a good one.